I'm listening to the birds. The birds are talking. When nature talks, you listen. That's what I'm learning. You hear a lot of things when the birds start talking, or the squirrels come tapping on your window. You know, and I don't want anybody to think, "Oh my God, this child crazy." But no, that when you become one with what God is saying, when you become harmony with the universe, yeah, it's real. I know that some people get eerie when people have those kinds of conversations about the universe and being in one one vibe, or however you want to call it. I mean, they're now, trust me. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of different ways that people are saying a lot of different things. But if you know that you have a savior, like when you mess up, that you actually been saved by the blood of Christ. You have to understand that, and it's a right for you to have it. So what we as the believers of Christ do or should do are become and be that example or that opportunity of light, so that you can actually have a chance to know that wherever you are right now is a good place to be, and it's okay. Because if you weren't in the place that you were in right now, you wouldn't be listening to me, or you wouldn't have met me, or that person that came into contact with you, or whatever the case may be. We have to learn to start to embrace everything. There's something about embracing everything. That means you take the good with the bad. You take happy with the sad. Now, don't get me wrong. You do want to sit in the happier moments more than you want to sit in the sad moments. But as long as you understand that it's the same God, He's doing all of it. He's working it all out, no matter what it is, regardless of how it looks, regardless of how you feel. It's still being worked out for you. I don't really know who that was for, but whoever that was for, that was for you. And know that it will be okay. Wow, can I tell you, if no one has ever told you before that it'll be all right, it'll be all right. Like, no, no, seriously, we put so much on ourselves that I believe that we cause the sick. Well, no, I don't want to say that we cause the sick, but we have something to do with the sick. And then because of the fact that we don't feel well, or because of the fact that we're stressing, we might not sleep well. So therefore, because our body is not getting adequate rest, that means that you probably don't eat well. You know what I mean? So because you're usually eating and then you fall asleep because you haven't been asleep, it's like you're just running. As somebody would say to me, it's a candle lit from both ends. I don't know. If a candle is lit from both ends and it has a nice holder, then it might be even possible. The difference is, do you have a nice holder? One. And do you have more candles? Because you're going to need more candles if you're doing it in that manner. So that's just if you choose to do these things, and after people have continuously told you different, and you just like, oh no, I know what I'm doing, and it's going to work this time. However, like I said, check the holder, everything else. All right. Now, on a whole nother note, well, not on a whole nother note, but on the note, if you've gotten your book, I want to say thank you. I do. I have to say that the overwhelming response to surviving tough times is very humbling, actually, because for a long time I just thought that I was talking, and the people around me kept telling me to be quiet. So it would say that, maybe it's not on level, but then I was thinking, wow, it's not so much that it wasn't on level, but it just wasn't time. And then for some, they can still say that it's not time because it's not time. Because right now we have a job to do, and the job that we have to do is to help you, or I should say, I have a job to do, and that's to help you. But then once I help you, then you have a job. So then I go back to we have a job to do, and that is to help the next person understand what it looks like to be all right, to have survived a tough time. It doesn't take a color to survive. It doesn't take a religion to survive. It actually takes a relationship, a big one and a real one and a true one. Now you can be lying if you want, but when you be lying, things can't manifest in the way that they need to. Shout out to my mentor, Antonio T. Smith Jr., because what he tell you, he's got the whole laws of reaping and sowing and how you can't really have one without the other. It's not going to happen at the same time. You're not going to reap and sow in the same season. However, there's going to be a moment in there where you are going to have to harvest whatever it is that you put in the ground. So if you are coming out of something where you have changed your life around, you also have to understand that what might not happen for you is exactly what you believe to happen right away for you, just because you have to still be able to go through the harvest of what it is that you had sown. You understand? So if you already have your book, thank you. Um, Actually, you can inbox me if you would like to be a part of the first class that goes through our Surviving Tough Times, where we put our thoughts together to actually see how it is that we can begin this march, a true march to peace and solidarity and a oneness, you know. So if that's you, make sure you inbox me. Please make sure you inbox me. I should say look out for the page, but make sure you inbox me. That way I know that I have you on my mind and you have me on your mind. So inbox me, 267-588-7862. You can text me or shoot me a, well, you can call. If I don't answer, please just leave a voicemail and let me know who you are. That way I know to make sure that when we do our first sit down, your thoughts will be at the table. I don't believe that this was something that was supposed to just stop at the very beginning. So sounds like my neighbor got a new car. When it's in the blessing business, when God is in the blessing business, God is in the blessing business. Understand that. So if you hear people getting blessed around you, just be excited to know that God is in the area. You know, so listen, he's in the area. Okay. So when you get a chance to be in the area, you try to get down and get in the area. That's a blessing. So back to the surviving of tough times. So even in the surviving of tough times, you run into a blessing or you run into a person that is having a blessing. Or you help the people get to a blessing while you're still in your tough time. There's a whole lot of ways that this book can affect you and whoever you are. The one thing I do know is that who you are uniquely who you are. God made you just that way. And that is what is important. When we start to realize that that is what the most important part of this is that the same way I have flaws, you have flaws, but the same way God loves me, he loves you. And when we start to understand it in that manner, it begins to manifest into something that is so irreplaceable. Like people would just want to know, what are you doing? What do you have? And when you could just tell them that you just have the victory because of the fact that you've already seen it in your mind. You know what it looks like. But you don't always have to go with what it looks like, because if you know something more than what it looks like, you can hold fast, stay still, and keep looking forward. Pass through it. That's the blessing of who you are. That's the makeup of why you are the way that you are. But you got to know the strength and you got to know where to get it. So you got to know how to hone in on what you need to hone in on at that moment so that it can be done. Surviving tough times is just the beginning. And like I said, this is just the entrance of the beginning of the conversation. But without your thoughts in it, you're not even sitting at the table. And in this moment, we should all be wanting to be at the table because we all have something in it. Even if you don't have the children yourself, you have nieces and nephews and cousins and all of that. Even the children in your neighborhood, your school teacher, whatever the case may be. We need to do this for our children. We need to start, and we need to start today. So if this is you, inbox me or call, text, whatever you need to do to make sure that we're going to start. We're going to start June 1st. I believe that June 1st is going to be it, and I believe that we should do it on Zoom. That way, if we snatch the masses in the very, very beginning, we have it up to 100 max. That way, no one is getting left behind in this first run. Now, if it gets bigger than that, then we just go on and bless God and we get bigger than that. But that's what I'm calling for. That's what I'm expecting. So if this is you and this message is for you or it has touched you, then yes, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But then make sure that I see you in that lineup so that I know that I can send you that invite and we can get this thing popping. Because I believe that it's time. I believe that it's time. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. If you don't have fun, nobody wants to do it anyway. Or I will say I won't want to do it. Hell, I can't speak for nobody else on fun but me. But understand, if we're having fun and we're getting things done, look, if we're having fun and we're getting things done, that's important. And that's where we want to be. I believe that's the kick. That's how we end 2021 and let it know we was having fun in 2021, but we had to get it done in 2021. Just because 22 is all about you. And it's not you like you, but it's the God in you. And man, when I tell you, when people start to feel you, when people feel your presence, that's when you know there's a God in you that's doing something, that's working things out. He's working things out for you. He's working things out for the people in your presence. He's just working things out. But you got to be able to receive it. So you have to know that you want to be, I like to just say steadfast and unmovable because they're going to try you. They got to try you. The, Trust me, it wouldn't even make sense if they didn't try you. And that's real. Because if you check any of them words, any of them Bibles, any of them words where you learn your information about who God is to you, any of them, you check it. The ones that he was closest enough to, they worked them. They was on them. Why were they on them? Because if they weren't on them, then how would they know how good God really was? We got to go there. We have to start embracing the things that are bothering us. People don't even dig it. I'm the first person to tell you, if it pisses you off, that's a good thing. You do know that because it's in your face, because God is trying to tell you that you need to do something about it. If it's bothering you, fix it. Stop complaining about it. Stop crying, talking about it can't get done because they bother me. That's that and the other thing. Well, stop. If you can go to sleep and wake up on the same thing, that's yours. You own that thing. That's just how I feel. I don't know. I could be wrong. Look, I could be wrong. That's why some people say I'm misunderstood. To me, when you ask me, the misunderstood for me is so that you can understand. And then you could be understood. That's what I'm into. Right. So when you sit down at the table with me and you have your thoughts with it, bring them. Bring them on. I don't care if they're crazy. The crazier the better because then we can really process something. Because guess what? I'm going to tell you mine. And mine might be crazy. I'm going to tell you mine might. I ain't going to tell you nothing, but they might be crazy. But I'm not ashamed because I understand that God is doing something in my life and he's doing it for me to do it for you. Not so much that I gotta do it for you. The people that I come in contact with every day are the ones that I'm doing it for, but why leave you out? That's what they said. The biggest thing that I've learned through this whole pandemic is that I can't do the things that I like to do and be all right and just be okay. Because I've always said, yeah, I don't need it. Because if I don't want to do it and I don't want to learn it, then I'd rather just not do it. That's just who I am. And I'm sure that that's somebody else, then I'm here to tell you that we're going to push through it anyway. Because you got to. You have to. It's going to be fun. It is fun. It's been fun. Now, what I can say is that within all of my treatments and everything else, if you do not see me on a day, it's okay to say hey. Because I'm still here with you. I'm there. Trust me when I tell you I'm there. but I'm running here, there, and everywhere, getting book signs. And actually, my new thing is I want to be where you are. I do. I want to be where you are. So the fact that you might not see it here, that's because one of you haven't said that you can help me. So if I can get one of you out there to help me be there and they still see me here, then holla at your girl. Let's talk. You know what I mean? Let's figure it out. Figure it out. Can we do that? Is there anyone out here that does it like that? I mean, that's just me. I'm just asking. But meanwhile, go ahead and get your book, Surviving Tough Times, on your march, get set, go. Don't forget, put your thoughts in it because your thoughts and my thoughts become our thoughts, and then together we will be able to begin to march into one common goal. And that is love, love, love. Don't it feel good to you? I'm just saying.